always enjoy just kind of not having a plan whenever we get time off in a festival. You know, just go and explore, and every festival obviously has its different feels, you know, and stumbling across great artists, you know, it's good fun. So I think being on the road is actually it's a very inspired time, you know. It's just one day you might just write a couple of lines that stick in your head and lyrics. Next day it's just a tiny little riff, and it all kind of pieces together. You know, I think we always feel it's important to get your ideas down whenever you feel it, instead of like, you know, finish touring and then you go and be inspired, you know. So it feels very natural just to do it like that. But of course, you don't have always much time on the road, so it was nice to lock ourselves away in Maine and you know, and realise the ideas.
Maine felt quite familiar, you know, it had the same ruggedness as North Wales. There's definitely, you can definitely find solitude quite easily, you know. And I think if anything, that's what we wanted. We actually fell in love with, you know, Maine kind of by accident. But I think the incentive at the beginning was just finding, kind of like you were saying before, just a complete contrast to tour, to just be able to reflect properly, contemplate, and also because we'd written such a lot on the road. You know, we had 12 months of writing together, writing separately, lots of threads, kind of quite chaotic, great but chaotic, and I think we, you know, definitely need to go somewhere where we could, you know, look over that and make sense of it, you know, try and understand it somehow.
Yeah, we very much feel like we're in a bubble, but we're in a happy bubble, you know. We love touring, and we never take it for granted. It's not a job. You're going somewhere new all the time, different cultures, meeting different people. Yeah, it's a wonderful kind of lifestyle. I think that track was one of the first we wrote, actually. I think it just encapsulates the album on you know, in many respects. I think from I don't know, personal difficulties, like lost some people while writing it. Britty's parents went through a long, drawn-out divorce, and she was estranged from her dad for a long time, but now they're finally talking together. All these slight things makes you question big questions like that, you know, and how time is precious, and yeah, make the most of it. There's a lot of fluff, you know, we like to push that aside, you know. We've always wanted to write about things that actually mean something to us, and that truly inspire us, and the lyrics all mean something, you know. It's not just pretty words or thinking of what kind of style am I going to do on this next song.
I think also it's, you know, when we were writing the first record, The Big War, you know, it was a really turbulent time. We were going through quite a lot as a band and individually, and it was a really dark time. It was very claustrophobic. We wrote that album in London, and there was a lot going around in the periphery. I think there's always been that light and dark, where we've always kind of taken some sort of sanctuary in this band and the music that we've made. But in terms of the, you know, behind the scenes during the making of the first record, it was definitely pretty dark. So yeah, I think, you know, songs like this, Lad Who Is Ours, it's not necessarily a song about reaching, you know, overreaching. It's more a song about actually coming, kind of climbing out of a hole, if anything, you know. And I think that, you know, that's something we've started to appreciate, you know, with the new record. It felt like individually we were getting to a better place. Our relationships were strengthening, you know. I think there was this general sense of things starting to get a little bit better than maybe when we were writing the first album.
Yeah, and I think it's also a little bit of a call to arms for people to feel something as well, you know. We prefer to be hated than to have nonchalance, you know. I think, and the same goes for the gigs. We want to have discourse, we want to have conversation, we want people to feel something, you know. And I think that's what music and art should always be about, and get rid of the apathy. I think it's easy to fall into that trap. So as much as we talk about personal things, I think a lot of the songs actually are kind of a little bit of a, you know,
as much trying to provoke us to kind of, you know, to kind of pick ourselves up as much as it, you know, is a bit beyond ourselves.
Because I think the same is true of the name of this band. People think that it's joyous. It's not. I think, you know, there's something actually difficult sometimes in attempting to be optimistic. It's a constant fight, you know, you never actually reach it.
Yeah, formidable an opponent, right? Something to fight against for sure.
You know, we always like to try things differently. We've always written in lots of different ways, and the you know, certain songs of the seed of certain songs has been different always. You know, I think we always challenge, maybe not even consciously, but I think we're constantly challenged to write things in different ways. And I think what felt very different from us as a band is the first album was definitely it was more like building and painting a picture and lots of layers and this kind of mesh effect of you know, bringing lots of different instruments and textures together. And you know, I think it's always good to kind of swap it out. So I think we just wanted to, you know, it was as simple as just picking up a guitar and saying let's. It wasn't.
Yeah.
We didn't say let's. You know, we need to get out of the box here. But you know, we started to write a few more songs that way, and the energy was good, and the songs and the writing were coming very fast. And I think we enjoyed the focus that it gives to the vocals and the lyrics, and also showing a little bit maybe more vulnerability that you know, which is absolutely there on the first record, but maybe you have to be a little bit more discerning to hear it behind this, you know, this shield of sound almost. You know what I mean?
I mean, I love these guys. I love this band, and we've really had to be like that, you know, because we haven't had a very traditional path, and we haven't had always much behind us. We've had to look inwards to move forward, and it's a very special thing, you know. I think, you know, timeless writing comes from the heart, and as soon as you start thinking about what's in the here and now, or trying to fit into any kind of recent trend or fashion, we will happily accept the consequences of not being in fashion if it happens at this point in time. We're not interested in that, you know, because things
in fashion anyway.
Things go around, come around, you know. It's very, very fickle, and you know, in this fickle world, I think it's important to write about things that truly matter, you know. I mean, we hear stories about, we're not playing fucking guitar music on radio this year. You know, it's like, to me, that's just nonsensical. It should always be about what's good, you know. But unfortunately, this is the kind of things that we're up against, you know.
Right.
So yeah, you just have to.
I think it's been something that's been rife in every era, though, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely, and but nobody can ever criticise you for being anything other than yourself. Do you know what I mean? And we ultimately just want to stand behind the tracks that we write. Absolutely, you know, we're there, we're playing them live every night. I couldn't imagine doing this. It's not there's no gameplay. It's not about pretending. You know, there can't be any pretense in it. So you absolutely have to stand behind it so that you write. Otherwise, I think something would die. Definitely die inside.
I think that's where the real fulfillment is. Anyway, you like, you know, ask them about how people respond to it. Well, I think when they see that you're utterly behind what you write, and you're behind your performances, and they can see that you feel it when you sing it as well. Actually, those are where you do get your real fans anyway, you know. It's nice to hear your songs in all kinds of different contexts, you know. The recent one with a trio of Beta Tracks, I think it was, wasn't it? That's a great remix.
Like Fang Island, and we were talking about that the other day. What was I don't know, what was the one that was like a really big house, the house beat with that heavy abacus? Was it
Q lines, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think I've got a little bit of a penchant for like a big house remix of, you know what I mean? It's like, I kind of like, you know, I think
when it's done well.
When it's done well, that's, you know, I'd hear another one of those. Just a big stomping ladder or a big stomping man. Dance version of Man if anybody wants to do that. Yeah.